and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, everybody, it's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. All right, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again, another Drapes commercial for his guys and girls down there at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. But trust me, listen to this. Whether you're in the market for a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, they'll take care of you. Trust me, they got certified pre-owned vehicles starting at 3.49 APR on select 2021, 22, and 23 models. And take it from me, when you go to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, you leave out feeling like you're valued, like they trust you, like they care for you. Matter of fact, it's like they're your family. That's right. So for over 30 years, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has been there for the entire community. And get this, it's not that far away, guys. Just a short drive down I-5, or of course, online anytime at mbofstockton.com. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton and tell them Drape sent you.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SacktownSports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
3 straight wins for the Kings. 1 game left before the break. Can they make it 4? Let's find out from the guy who had the call last night and dropped a king-size combo on the NBC Sports California audience. Kyle Draper. What's up, Drapes?
What's up, fellas? What's up? Let me just say this. I dropped that king-size combo because it would be something I would really say. I would use that, and so it just felt natural. Now, I'm not the hippest guy, and I'm not one of these announcers that's always dropping, the latest lyrics. I'm gonna stay true to myself. So king-size combo, that worked for me, man.
Yes.
So I appreciate the listeners, Whitey. I appreciate you as well for giving that to me yesterday. It just flowed. It just worked yesterday.
And so did the Kings for the most part, right after a bulky first quarter. Where they're throwing the ball all over the place. They do have a little more flow going. It's working right now, Drapes. You got to feel good about things.
I do. And we got Drapes Takes coming up in just a little bit. But one thing I noticed last night, sure, they came out and they were throwing the ball over 8 turnovers, I think it was, in the first quarter, but only 3 after that. They settled down. And I think the more this team gets together, the more this team plays together, that's what Doug, it's funny because when you look at Doug and you hear him talk, he wants his guys to play fast, but he also wants them to slow down. It's sort of like that old John Wooden, be quick but not in a hurry, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's it. Be quick but don't hurry. Yeah,
but don't hurry. Yeah, exactly. And that's how Doug wants them to play. And I felt last night we sort of got that after the first quarter. It just settled into basketball, which they all are, very familiar with, obviously. Instead of just running around like chickens with their heads cut off like they were in that first quarter, they actually had a little bit of flow out there in that last 3 quarters.
Turned the ball over on their first possession. I thought, no. And as you said, they had 8 turnovers in the first quarter. They had 10 turnovers in the first half. They finished the game with 11. That's good work right there, Drapes, in that second half. That's amazing. 1 turnover in the second half.
How about that? But what's so crazy about it, Whitey? And, this is a transition period for the Kings. We understand that. No De'Aaron Fox. You got some new players coming in. Throughout the season, they have been great at taking care of the basketball, a top 5 team in terms of fewest turnovers per game. But for some reason, over these last 2 weeks or so, it's just been like they've been playing hot potato out there, with the ball. And so it's funny. I was at shoot around yesterday, and one of the coaches was like, we got to get these guys to value the basketball. We may have to treat them like Bill Belichick used to do the New England Patriots. You got to sleep with the ball. You got to bathe with the ball. Wherever the ball is, you got to, how it is too in high school. I don't know if they did this back when you were coming up, Whitey, but you got kids in high school, they're carrying like fake doll babies around as part of a class. That's how we got to be with the basketball with our guys. Like, you got to value this basketball.
Yeah, when I was playing Pop Warner, they wanted me to sleep with the football. And I don't think I ever did, Drapes. I think I was like started to. I was like, no, I'm not sleeping with the football. But we got to ask you here, the best of the Pelicans, is he playing tonight? And the newest of the Kings, is there any chance we see him tonight?
I'll start with Zion. Zion is out. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes, sir. We dodged the bullet. And it's funny, Malik said yesterday as he was getting ready for tonight's game, he said, hopefully Zion doesn't play.
Yeah.
Zion's only played in one back-to-back all season long, and that was in late October. So he's still on that maintenance plan, whatever they want to call it. So the big fella who just seems to torch us every single game, he's out. Meanwhile, our new guy, and I'm gonna keep it real with you, Whitey. I'm gonna say it right now, and I'll be the first to say it. Markelle Fultz, my guy. Markelle Fultz is a Drapes guy. I'm telling you,
An upset right there.
I was actually one of the ones very high on him coming out of Washington. He's the #1 overall pick, and I like the move, and I like the pick, and I like the player. So now he's a Sacramento King. First of all, I like the player. Second of all, now he's a King. Come on, man. He's tailor-made to be my guy. So I'm happy to see, so he should play tonight. He'll be in uniform. I know he's warming up tonight, going through his pregame routine. So we'll see if he gets in.
You know, one of the things I like about him above everything else, something that I don't think he gets enough credit for, he's a good defender. He'll defend you a little bit. I like that. And then the other thing, as far as the other end of the spectrum, I just worry about his health. And he had knee issues last year, and he's had a lot of time to heal up. So hopefully he's okay. I don't think he's ever going to be what people hoped he would be when he was picked #1, but that's a guy that can help you if he's healthy. And I like it that he's a guy that helps you on both sides of the ball, Drapes.
Yeah, and I thought he was a big part of that Orlando team last year, the last couple of years, as they sort of transitioned and became better. I thought he sort of, regained and was a reclamation project down there in Orlando. And to your point, he'll never be and live up to the hype of the #1 overall pick. We understand that, but he can get after it defensively. He actually can run a team offensively. And I view what happened out there in Philadelphia. And, Philly is my city, city of brotherly love. Well, they did Markelle Fultz dirty out there in Philly. I felt like they ruined that kid. And now he's trying to bounce back. I talked to Monty and I was like, man, how come this guy, hasn't, been in the league this year? And to your point, Whitey, he's been battling some injuries, but he seems to be good to go now. And hopefully we'll see him out here tonight.
Yeah. Hey, Jay's doing some, he's busy.
Of course
with
he is. Jay's always doing something else.
I wanted to ask.
Says the person that does too.
Yeah. Jay, Markelle Fultz, he's 6'4", wingspan,
6'10",
6'10".
Oh, 6'10".
Yeah. NBA draft net.
Oh, lock him in, baby. He's one of my diaper dandies. I got to come up with something for athletic, young, long guys.
Yeah. Well, he can't be your guy because Drapes already claimed him as his guy.
Already took
it or not.
You don't even know Drapes.
No.
I don't know him either, but yeah.
But you got to understand. Here's the thing, though, real quick, too, fellas. Kevin O'Connor has built a following, a name off of his draft guide. I need a Drapes draft guide because, like I said, Markelle Fultz was my guy coming out of Washington. And, one thing I said to Monty yesterday, I said, the thing about Markelle Fultz coming out, and obviously it hasn't panned out that way, but when he's at his best, he could take it to a level at the time few college players could. And I feel like I said, Philly sort of ruined him. And I'm interested. I think it's a good move in terms of let's see what he has. Let's give him a tryout for the rest of this season. And who knows? He could be that backup point guard that we've been looking for.
Drapes, I hope I don't offend anybody, but you know this. I mean, if you're going to say I should have my own draft guide and people say, why? Well, I was high on Markelle Fultz is not the first thing you say, right? I mean, let's just be honest. It's probably not the first thing you say.
Hey, even the greatest GMs miss on some draft picks. Like, you know what I mean? Anthony Bennett went #1 overall. Those guys still have a job somewhere. So I can miss on some, but it's all about fit, Whitey. You know that it was a horrible fit out there in Philly.
And that was the De'Aaron Fox draft, interestingly enough, right?
Yes. And I was looking at that top 5. Talk about getting it wrong. You had Fultz 1, Lonzo Ball 2, who has turned into a solid player. Lonzo's Tatum 3, Josh Jackson at 4. Wow. Think about that, though. 3 of the top 4 picks haven't come close to living up to the hype. And then you got Tatum and De'Aaron Fox rounding out that top 5.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that there are any minutes for him? I know we talked about this yesterday. He's one of the names that came up as I just went down the list of point guards are available. I think you and I both suggested it's going to be tough if they sign somebody for him to get minutes. So how many minutes realistically are there for Markelle Fultz?
He's probably like a 10-minute guy. If that, I'm looking at some of the numbers. Malik played 37 minutes last night. DeMar played 37, Zach 35. If you shave off 2 to 3 minutes from each of those guys, Keon played 29 minutes and change. I'm fine with that. You shave off 2 to 3 minutes off of each of those first 3 guys I mentioned. That's your 9 to 10 minutes right there for Markelle Fultz.
Yeah, and there's opportunity for more, right? I mean, if he comes in and plays great, takes care of the ball, and actually knocks down a few shots, there's an opportunity for him to play more, of course, with his team.
Exactly. And I'm looking at the YouTube chat, and I tell you, this is why I love the YouTube chat, Whitey, because it's a roast zone. Like, nobody's off limits.
Right.
Anybody can get that smoke.
Right.
And director of Rec 44, was Bagley your guy too, Drapes? No, I was 100% out on Marvin Bagley. I'm not claiming that one, big fella. Vlade got to stick with that. I'm not claiming that way. He's on an island by himself with that one.
Yeah. We're going to talk to Antonio Daniels at 3:00, the analyst for the Pelicans, see what he thinks of the new look Kings. He's always a really energetic and great guest, very knowledgeable. And when we come back, Drapes Takes. That's next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals you can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals, get it, during the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings at jiffylube.com today and let yourself save in the month of February. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Kings had a good night last night, not only on the court in New Orleans, but they had some things go their way around the league. Drapes, I don't know if you saw any of Dallas and Golden State, and that the Kings would have benefited either way there. Dallas wins that game. Steve Kerr, your favorite coach, furious that his team had a late game last night and then has another game tonight. He's saying, I don't know if Steph's going to play tonight because the NBA and their infinite wisdom schedule is for an 8:45 game. He's very upset that his team had a late game scheduled last night when they have another game tonight. Furious.
Wah, wah, wah. Called a wambulance, right? Come on, Steve. And then word came out, his guys are playing though tonight, Whitey. So all that hemming and hawing and moaning and crying and talking about the league and everything and trying to get sympathy. Guess what? Steph, Draymond, and them are playing tonight. They're available tonight. So be quiet. They're about to have 8-9 days off. You know what I mean? So calm down, bro. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's the NBA.
After the Kings beat that Dallas team, there were some, not a lot, but there were some fans right here who said, oh, well, you got to beat that team when they're shorthanded. Well, that team beat the Warriors last night. So how about that?
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because I'm looking at the standings.
Yeah, I know
and I'm
what you
like,
mean.
you know what I mean? It's like we're damned. It was a win-win or a lose-lose, I guess. However you want to look at it,
right?
And so we didn't gain any ground on the Mavericks, but we gained the game, and the Warriors are behind us. Like I'm still, even though they got Jimmy Butler, I'm looking ahead. I'm not, and I know we got them coming up on the 21st. I think it is. That's going to be a huge matchup at Golden One Center. But I'm looking. I feel like we can catch Dallas. I feel like we can catch Minnesota. why not catch the Clippers? And so the Kings are in the control of their own destiny when it comes to the Warriors. You know what I mean? You win out or you have the tiebreaker right now against the Golden State Warriors. And so I'm not worried about them right now.
Now I'm wondering, some Drapes that others viewing on YouTube may be wondering, which is, where the heck do they have you today? I expected to see you courtside today.
Nah, because the Pelicans are going to have a closed walkthrough.
Yeah.
And because I value our station so much and I love contributing to the show. Remember last time we did this, we were on the road and I got kicked out. I forget where I was. Portland, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I had to drop out of the show because I got kicked out of the bowl. Well, I think so highly of you and Jay and our listeners. I wanted to come somewhere. They're not going to kick me out. I'll be here for the full hour and a half. But no, this is a real big time studio right here, man. We got a nice little WKRP in Cincinnati microphone in front of me.
That is a tremendous microphone. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I feel good, man. I got a nice little view of the Caesars Superdome, site of my Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl victory. So I'm feeling good right now.
We got to find out if you made your way across the street after the game last night, but plenty of time for that. Right now it's time for Drapes Takes.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
All right, Kings fans. I'm going to put on my old school bag today. I'm going to be like my co-host, Kevin Whitey Gleason. Usually I got my computer in front of me. I'm looking up the stats. Well, today I got the old-fashioned traditional box score right here.
No substitute.
Hey, had to kill one tree for it, but I got it right here. And so let me start off by saying I could dive into Keon Ellis for 20 minutes. I could talk about how great he was, knocking down those 7 threes, 22 points in the first half. But that's low-hanging fruit. When you guys listen to Drapes Takes, you're not looking for the basics. You're not looking for the stuff that everybody and their mom can see.
You want the sauce.
Right. You want some nuggets, some jewels. So I'm going to start off with my guy, Zach LaVine. And it's not about Zach LaVine scoring 23 points. It's not about Zach LaVine dishing out 7 assists. It's about Zach LaVine, Whitey, coming out that game, starting off, and this is something I asked Doug Christie about afterwards, letting the game come to him. When you watch that game, I don't know how you felt, but it looked to me like early on, Zach passed up a few open looks to try to make plays for other teams, other players. And I'm okay with that right now because he's trying to fit in. Think about it. When you're a new player, you get traded for De'Aaron Fox, let's say. Fox is a legend here in Sacramento. You want to come in and show everybody, hey, I'm just as good. I'm better. We won this trade. So I felt like LaVine, the first few games, might have been pressing a little bit to start games. I thought last night he sort of let the game come to him. Fourth or second half, LaVine showed up, and I thought that really helped the team. He didn't have to force anything. Now, eventually he'll come out, firing on all guns blazing and everything like that. But I thought for this one game last night, I liked his mental approach to the game last night.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this real quick, and I know a lot of longtime Kings fans can relate to this. This is not a criticism. It's just came to mind. When Zach LaVine gets fouled, he yips like a coyote, and the last King who did that was Peja. Peja did that all the time. They drive and they get hit, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not being critical, but it's like, He got a little Peja in him. So, yeah, we've seen that before here in Sacramento.
Exactly. And the ref's got to, you're drawing attention to it, right?
Yeah.
You're drawing. And speaking of his free throws, how about this, White? 11 of 11 last night.
Yeah.
He went to the line and he made them. And I love the fact that, sure, he started off slowly from 3-point range, but he hit 2 big ones in the second half, I thought. One was a laser that was well defended. And so he's a tough shot maker. I think Zach is going to start to come around. We got the All-Star break. That'll help him out, and he'll be great. Also, let me talk about my guy, Malik Monk. Here's the thing about Malik, man. And he's learning as he goes, and I understand it. We saw it to an extent yesterday. Malik Monk, 14 shots, 8 threes. I'm okay with that because it wasn't him getting swallowed up in the paint trying to do too much several times. I feel like we're watching the evolution of Malik Monk in terms, and he talked about it after the game, setting other guys up, getting other guys involved. I'll be honest with you. I feel Malik is good enough where he can get his shot at any point. Like, we've seen him turn it on and say, you know what? Get on my back, boys. Follow me. I thought last night it was a more controlled game. Sure, he had some early turnovers, but you mentioned it, Whitey. What, one turnover? What was it, in the fourth quarter, I think it was, or whatever it was?
Yeah.
3 after the first quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's Malik Monk's value to the Sacramento Kings team. Just controlling the ball out there last night.
Yeah. Every time we talk to somebody from a visiting team, before the trades, they would point out that you got Domas and you got Fox at the top of the attention board for the other team. Well, now with no Fox, I feel like Malik's getting a lot more defensive attention than he's ever received before. And I think he's still adjusting to that a little bit. I think he's going to handle it fine. But I think that's one reason why he's had a few struggles. I mean, teams are really focusing more on him defensively than they ever have since he's been playing point guard.
Yeah, exactly. And think about it. He doesn't have that ball handling release valve like he had with De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time it's either Domas, but mostly lately it's been Malik Monk initiating things and having the majority of the ball handling duties. With that said, going into tonight's game, this is a gut check game, Whitey. This is a mental game for your Sacramento Kings. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I woke up today here in New Orleans. It was kind of blustery out, and I'm like, damn, this is the last game before the All-Star break. I started to think about my vacation. I'm off next week, just so you know. I don't know if you knew that, but I'm off next week. I started thinking about where me and the kids are going, and so mentally, I'm already like almost on vacation. I can imagine how difficult it is for some of the guys. As a matter of fact, not everybody's flying back to Sacramento tonight. Some guys are staying over and then going straight to their vacation plans. And so to me, this isn't a game about the X's and O's or anything like that. This is about the mental focus, if you will. You know what I mean? The mindset going in, willing it instead of just giving this shorthanded Pelicans team some hope. It's always a tough game, the last game before the All-Star break. I want to see how our guys come out tonight with it.
Yeah, that's the reality of the NBA. Every team deals with it. But as far as the way the Kings are playing, I'm more concerned about you focusing on your job tonight, because I know how your mind will wander sometimes than I am on the Kings.
I only do that with you on radio, big fella. I only do that with you. I know, you're right. Now, I'll be locked in. I'll get my pregame smoothie. I'll be locked in. Lastly, let me say this. And I understand they gashed us last night, points in the paint. I'm not going to overreact to that. I think we'll be better. Zion's not playing. We'll be better. But I will do something. I will be the anti-Allen Styles in them real quick.
Wow.
This wasn't a part of Drapes Takes, but I'm listening to that guy talking about Jordan Hawkins. I ain't never heard of this guy. This guy ain't going. Allen, shut up, man. This could be Jordan Hawkins could come out and have 8 or 9 3-pointers, big fella. You're jinxing us. What are you doing right here? So I'm going to sage the microphone. I'm going to sage Sacktown Sports 1140. I'm going to put some appropriate respect on Jordan Hawkins and this Pelicans team, and hopefully he doesn't come out and have one of those games, because this is a big game, Whitey. We have to have this one tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I have a question for you, by the way, about the box score real quick. And I know the Kings won, so not a complaint, but how did Domas not get to the foul line at all last night? He didn't shoot
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, what is that?
And if you watch that game, he was on the ground more than anybody.
Yes.
Like, he got knocked down like 3 possessions in a row. And that's, I had not dove into the box score as much as you have, obviously, because I was doing the eye test. But that's crazy that Domas only didn't even get to the line at all. Valanciunas too. Kings as a team, 29 free throws, though. So everybody else did, but you're right about that. And what's so crazy about it too, Whitey, is as you dig deeper into the box score, you look at Makovich, who had 6 personal fouls. Misi had 2. So their bigs had combined for 8 personal fouls, and none of them on Domas shooting the ball. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. So I agree with you. All right, that's Drapes Takes, Jay. It's brought to you by
Alsco Uniforms. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms.
I got something to say about the Pelicans that you might think is disrespectful, Drapes. I hope it doesn't bother you. Nothing against any of the players, but we're texting last night, which was nice of you to text Jay and I a little bit when you're actually doing the game. Appreciate that because you're busy.
Got you, big fella.
Yeah, but Jay says something about how there's nobody there, which is true. Obviously. But right after he said that in a text, I noticed, across the scores table, they have a sign there and it says, "Welcome to the Blender." And I was like, the Blender? No, Blender's a place like, wow, you don't want to go in there, right? Very hostile environment. The Blender last night was not that hostile, Drapes. It was just not a very hostile environment.
All right, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I may get in trouble for this. And I won't identify the player. How about that? I won't. As the Kings ran on, you could see the look on the players' faces. It was empty up in that arena.
Yeah.
And I overheard a player go, "Damn, what is this, a preseason game or something?" I'm sorry, my guy Luke over here giving me the side eye, like, don't be dissing our basketball crowd. But I mean, they filtered in a little bit more afterward. You know what the worst part of it is, Whitey, though? Here's the worst part. And listen up, everybody. Whether you're at work, whether you're driving in the car, whether you're at home, you're on the YouTube. I got the box score, Whitey. I don't know if you can see that. The announced attendance last night at Smoothie King Center, 17,444. That's what it says right here on the box score. There's like 7,000 people in there. So the announced attendance last night, 17,444. I think they fudged that a little bit. Bit.
Drapes, mine didn't print right, so I only have the 4 digits there. So mine says attendance 1,744, and I thought, bingo. So
that's terrible, man. That's terrible. But I will say this, man. They make some damn good smoothies out here, man. That smoothie is banging, so I'm not going to hate on them too much.
When we come right back, Kings answer the point guard question. How long will Markelle Fultz be Drapes' guy next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports?
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda. I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Wet and breezy day ahead for this Thursday. Expect to have some isolated showers during the daytime, even some breaks of sun. If we get those breaks of sunlight, we could have some isolated thunderstorms as well. As we head through the overnight tonight, expect those rain showers will ease back a bit. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery. Ends President's Day. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
At the UPS store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
This 49er Injury Report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237.
There's a reason why more and more people are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. And it's not just because they're centrally located next to Hagen Oaks Golf Course. It's because they make the car buying experience different than anywhere else. Yeah, of course they can get you a great price. That's the easy part. Where their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team really make a difference is they don't believe you should have to sacrifice great customer service to get a great deal. Stomp on in today and see for yourself. That's Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery. Ends President's Day. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Nothing you can say can tear me away from my guy.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
There you go, Drapes. I asked Jay to play that since we're going to be talking about your guy, Markelle Fultz, and Kings fans very excited. A lot more excited than I thought they'd be about the news that the Kings had signed a backup point guard.
Dude, we signed a #1 overall pick. That's how I like to view it as. You know, I'm excited about this too. Like we said, though, we're not going to get major minutes, but, you know, we'll see if he can give us some flashes, you know, some defensive, versatility out there with that long wingspan. So I'm excited for it too.
How dire is the need to have some depth there, and how much do you think he can help? I know we talked about it yesterday. The rules stipulate that the Kings, who have been at 12, they got to get to 14 on the roster by, I think it's the 20th. So they had to add somebody. Might as well add a point guard, and you add a guy that has some upside. But how much do you think he can really help this team?
I mean, it's not the difference between a championship or not, not that kind of level. But think about it. When you look at it, and, we got to see what happens with Devin Carter here and his G League stint and what he turns into. Right now, Keon is probably our only reliable guard coming off the bench that we can use night. And I view Jake LaRavia more as a wing, like a 3. And so when I look at, Markelle Fultz, he could play 1 or 2 also. Yeah. Let's remember that. He doesn't have to always have the ball in his hands. He can play alongside a Malik Monk, if you will. We saw it in Orlando. They ran a number of 3-guard lineups out there last season. And so, no, I think he can help this team. Like, I look at it like this. As you go to building a champion, it's not always just about your top 5 guys. It's not always about your starters. You need a deep bench at times also. I look at Denver and the year they won it. They were pretty deep. Boston, I was never a fan of their bench. I'm still not a huge fan of their bench. But Peyton Pritchard was a key player obviously during that championship run. And so when I look at our team, the more talent you can add, and Doug talked about this yesterday. He said, as the organization adds more and more talent, guys got to sacrifice. I'm all for it. Why not? This guy is a former #1 overall pick. It's not like he didn't have talent or anything like that. And like I said, I feel like the Sixers situation messed him up. He started to come out of it last 5 years in Orlando, and let's see what he does here for Sacramento.
Did you know that he played last year in the playoffs for Orlando? He appeared in that series against Cleveland. He played 7 games in the playoffs last year for Orlando. The thing I like about it is if everybody takes care of their business and there's not a lot of minutes for them, that's fine. Nothing's really lost. But if you do need, because of an injury or someone slows, you do need something, you got another option. That to me is encouraging because it shows the Kings are serious about trying to have a good team.
Yeah.
And
go ahead. Sorry to cut. Yeah, but no, you're 100% right. How many times have we lamented the depth on this team? And if somebody goes down, if we lose Domas, watch out. We're at a point now where if we would have lost a Malik or a Keon, remember we saw it last year with Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk. When those guys went down, we sort of struggled. Now we're well more equipped to handle the loss of a player for a few games here or there.
Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. When you look at his game, one of the things that stands out is he just doesn't shoot the 3-ball well. In today's NBA, a guard that doesn't shoot the 3-ball well is at a disadvantage. He's kind of changed his shot, hasn't he? And you talked about the problems in Philly, and he had a physical problem that was misdiagnosed. His shot, he has 2 different shots now. He's a good mid-range shooter, but from 3, it's almost like a set shot. He struggled to make that consistently. But he's still, as far as penetrating and taking care of the basketball, he's a guy that can help you. And if he ever finds a range on that push shot, set shot, whatever you want to call it, there's a potential for him to be a lot better still.
Yeah, and it seemed like he developed the yips out there in Philly. And, a lot of times people will look at free throw percentage to decide whether, a guy's good free throw shooter. Like, maybe he could be. I look at Markelle Fultz. Get these numbers right here, Whitey. Free throw percentage. And not a huge sample size in any season. The most he's taken is 2.4 free throws per game. First season in Philly, 47.6% from the free throw line. Think about that. Second season, 56.8. Then he goes to Orlando, 73%, 89.5%, 80.6%, 78%. Last year, it dipped back down 69.7%. So I see flashes in there from Markelle, and I don't need him to go out there and take 10 threes a game or anything like that. Just knock down the open ones. And so I'm a firm believer when you talk about basketball, even at the NBA level, your mental health and your comfort and your fit play a huge part. And clearly things in Philly didn't work out. I thought he actually did pretty well there in Orlando. Look at some of his numbers in Orlando. First year there in Orlando, 12.1 points, 5 assists, 12.9 assists, points, 5.4 assists. Last year in Orlando, 2 years ago, excuse me.
Yeah, 2 years ago, he had a really good year.
Yeah, 14 points per game, 5.7 assists, 78% from the free throw line. Like, those are solid numbers, man. And hopefully we can get that guy again.
Yeah, and he played 60 games and started all of them 2 years ago. Orlando, they want to surround Paolo with some shooters. And as we just said, that's one thing about Markelle Fultz right now. He's not a good shooter, so he just wasn't a good fit for them. And then last year he had the knee problems too. So I think those are the reasons why nobody bid on him. But according to reports, he did have some other teams that were talking to him. So I think the Kings are fortunate to have him right now. We'll see how many minutes he gets, but it's a good fit. It would appear to be a real good fit, Drapes.
Yeah, and to me, he was one of the shockers. Like, why is this guy not on a roster? Like, why didn't somebody pick him up? And, I'm not, I understand he battled some of the injuries last year. Maybe that's a big part, but this could be found money right here. Like, this is a low risk, potentially high to medium kind of reward for our squad, and I'm all for that.
The other thing too, real quick, fellas, is he's pretty much auditioning for a roster spot next year in this league. So we we may see the best that we possibly can get from Markelle Fultz, and the fact that this could be his last hurrah in the league and his last opportunity to show, I can ball. I have a place to be in this league. And so
he
I
couldn't
expect
be more
him to
motivated.
Yes. Yeah. There you go, Whitey. I expect him to come in highly motivated.
We have this from your guy, Farmer Bleezy 22. He says, I think Fultz's perimeter defense can be big if he gets some minutes. Yeah, he's a really good defender. The Kings could use some of that too.
Yeah, 100%. Another, perimeter defender. Think about it. When we look at our perimeter defense, you got Keon, you got Keegan. Who else, though, can we turn to defensively? We look at Devin Carter. He's up and down in terms of going to the G League. This guy, Markelle Fultz, you mentioned it, 6'4", 6'9", 6'10" wingspan, quick feet, can stay in front of guys, can be a little physical as well. And I think playing on Orlando, and when you play with a Suggs and you play with a Cole Anthony and you're battling those guys every day in practice, I think that helps you out. And so I'm excited to see what the kid can do.
What do you remember about the situation in Philly? I think a lot of people are somewhat familiar with it, but maybe not the particulars. And I think it's worth going back over, given now that he's here. Is like, what happened to him in Philadelphia? How come he wasn't as good as people thought he was going to be? Where did the 76ers misstep with him, Drapes?
I think it was the medical staff. He had a shoulder issue, and they sort of misdiagnosed it, I believe.
Yeah.
And then, when you don't have trust in the doctors that are, working on you and that the organization, now you're talking about, a lack of confidence in yourself out there. And so that's where I think went wrong. I mean, think about it. They've had 2 number 1 picks, talking about Philly, that I'm going to just say it, they ruined. Like Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz. These guys were part of the process. They were supposed to join Joel Embiid and form this big three and be great. Instead, the organization, and I got to look, I got to dig up and see whether they, turned over their medical staff since then. But I would imagine so. Like it was pretty bad. And the fact that, like I said, the thing about Markelle Fultz, when I watched him at Washington, I actually got a chance to check out one of his games. He is like, how should I put this? At 1 minute, he can be an easy Sunday morning drive. The next minute, he could turn into, a sports car on the Autobahn. He can go from 0 to 60 so quickly. And I think for him, if we can somehow bring out that dog in him, bring out that competitor in him that I saw in Washington at times, I mean, his upside was so huge. He just never, we never really got to see it, especially out there in Philly.
Yeah, in Philly, I think there were a lot of questions about his character because it was kind of mysterious. What's wrong with him? And as you say, he had a condition with his shoulder that initially was misdiagnosed. So in Philly, it was like, what's wrong with this guy? Not what's wrong with his shoulder? What's wrong with this guy? He goes to Orlando, and I think it was Steve Clifford was a coach at the time and said, yeah, he was really hurt. He had a serious condition. So then all of a sudden it's like, that's not an issue. And then he blossomed. So another opportunity for him to blossom here with the Kings. When we come back, Coach Doug Christie on the sacrifices he's asking his players to make next on Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Deadline or no, I would not trade our new garage door from National Garage Door for any door, even if you attached picks. First of all, there's a service you get from National Garage Door. Service is their number 1 priority, and that's why they've been around, locally owned and operated since 1974. Installation, removal of the old janky door was done very quickly and efficiently, which is the opposite of how the old door was working. It was not efficient. It was not quiet. Our new door, quality Rainer brand garage door, it's great, looks great, whisper quiet, and a huge upgrade from our old door in functionality and appearance, which is important. Now, maybe you don't need a new garage door. National Garage Door is a place to call, 916-638-4554. Whether you need a door replacement or a door repair, they're the region's BSE broken spring experts. Why would you call anybody else? National Garage Door is ready to solve your garage door problem, whatever it is. They have emergency service available. A new garage door is a great, easy way to upgrade your home roster, if you will. Whatever your garage door needs, replacement, repair, emergency service, you need National Garage Door. 916-638-4554, National Garage Door.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you,
Lightning and the thunder.
sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration, and the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery. Ends President's Day. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
Ooh, what was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, it's time to pull up your calendar app. The Sacktown Sports Live Events calendar is packed with must-see shows. Get ready for Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades on February 18th, a night of pure vocal power and killer guitar work. Then on March 8th, the Fists Fly at Thunder Showdown Boxing at Thunder Valley, where every punch could be a knockout. On March 15th, the legendary Steel Panther brings their high-energy hair metal madness to Ace of Spades. This one's going to be wild. And the next night, country fans get their fix as Alexandra Kay takes the stage at Ace of Spades on March 16th with her soulful vocals and heartfelt songs. Then March 29th, it's a doubleheader. Papa Roach and Rise Against tear up Golden One Center for a night of high-energy rock. And over at Hard Rock Live Sacramento, comedy legends Jay Leno and Arsenio Hall team up for an unforgettable night of laughs. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Get all the details at sacktownsports.com.
Okay, guys, who is done with their Valentine's Day shopping? What are you waiting for? Stop putting off your Valentine's Day shopping and go to Prestigio Jewelers today.
She's right. Prestigio Jewelers has everything you need for Valentine's this year. And you're approved guaranteed. No credit, bad credit, even bankruptcy? 6 months proof of income guarantees you a credit line of $400 to $10,000. Time is running out. Make this a Valentine's Day she'll never forget. Visit one of our showrooms today or online at prestigiojewelers.com.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Got a lot of different opinions in the chat. The chat-o, also on the text line on the signing of Markelle Fultz, which is understandable. Thank you to Brandon Dietzman, who breaks down the medicals, talks about thoracic outlet syndrome, and it's hard to diagnose, and apparently that was the issue for Markelle Fultz, and it was initially misdiagnosed as a scapular muscular issue. So, yeah, to Drape's point, the Sixers kind of didn't really get a handle on that, and then it whole thing unraveled, and some people see him as a, hey, why not? A lot of upside there. Other fans, Drapes. Well, TR says, this is the same person saying both of these. TR says Fultz is a bum, and he also says Fultz equals Lonzo Ball. Well, Lonzo Ball is not a bum.
Yeah, not a bum. It's, I'm sorry to cut you off, but man, people are, if we had any doubt whether or not who was it that said that TR knew anything about sports, we don't have any doubt now. The guy clearly doesn't know basketball with that take. So shout out to TR. Thanks for clearing that up for us.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Doug had some interesting things to say after the game about the team and where they go from here as a roster. But before we get to that, we welcome back to the show maybe our number one caller, certainly right up there in the Hall of Great Callers. Will is back with us.
I love him. He's a nice guy.
How are you, Will?
Little cool guy, man. I mean, I bet he make the honor roll all the time and all that kind of stuff.
Will, what's up,
Will?
What's going on, man?
What's up, Whitey? Man, I can't wait till you guys come on, man. I'm gonna tell you. I know y'all tight. I know all y'all tight, but the morning guys, man, it's like they rooting for the Kings to lose. I mean, it's never nothing positive, man. Everything they do is just negative. Man, I'm glad for Markelle. I was wondering what happened to him, man. This kid, he look, he deserves another shot. And if he can play, I'm sure the Kings worked him out. See, this is what people don't understand. They think people just called him and say, look, man, we want to sign you. Come on and play with us. They don't understand. The Kings they had to work him out to make this decision to think that he can help the team. I mean, we need point guard help. And I'm sad to say, little guy Devin Carter, man, I don't hate on him, but I think that was a bad pick. I mean, he's a little guard. He's frail. I would have rather kept my man Davion. I mean, I don't think he has the body, the NBA, to survive in the NBA. I just don't. I don't know. But anyway, let me move on. Who was the guy we drafted like 3 or 4 years ago, number 1 overall?
The Kings? Yeah, number 1.
Yeah. Number 1 overall. We drafted him over Luka.
Oh, you're talking about
Marvin Bagley, number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah. Let's see. See, people have short memories. How many teams have Bagley been on?
4? I don't know.
Yeah, a lot. A lot. Where are you going with this, big dog?
4 or 5. What I'm saying is, give this kid a shot. Give Markelle Fultz. I mean, number 1 overall, like you said, number 1 overall. He's had some bad luck. I mean, and then this guy talking about the Ball brothers. The Ball brothers are balling. It took them 4 or 5 years to do it. Sometimes it just takes people a little longer to get there, to get everything together. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about the Kings. And I hear people calling in, man, DeRozan should come off the bench. I mean, Levine not hitting his shots. These people, y'all should hang up on them right away. Just hang up on them because they don't know basketball. They don't realize you got all these new players on the team, and they got to gel. It's going to take them a while to gel. They ain't even had time to practice.
They don't even know each other, Will. They barely know each other's names.
Exactly, man. Hey, I'm glad they got my boy, the big Trojan dude, man.
Talk about Jonas Valanciunas.
See, that's the only problem I have with Demos, is he don't never hit nobody. He don't never foul nobody. You got to be physical in that paint. You know, you got to knock somebody down sometime and stop crying.
Gotcha.
Hey, love you guys. Good game
All right,
tonight,
Will.
man.
All right, man. Will, I tell you, man, this guy, Will.
Will said, hang up on their butt. I might do that, Will. You right.
I don't know basketball, Will. Tell him. But I do want to address something real quick.
Yeah.
And maybe I shouldn't go down this road, but I will because it touched the nerve real quick. And to Will's point, the first point he made about the negativity. It's on the morning show. It's the doomsday scenario. The woe is me. You know, I see it on social media. Kings get down 6. Can you guys explain to me? And please don't say, well, Drapes, you haven't been here long enough. Dog, we're in a much different place. Why do people automatically go back to that negative spot immediately? Zach LaVine struggling, you know, from 3-point range. I'm seeing tweets about that. It's like, there's so much negativity surrounding, you know, people that talk about the basketball team, the franchise. I don't know, man. You guys tell me. Maybe I'm just too pie in the sky or something.
What do you
like
think,
that.
Jay?
Yeah, I would say that's something that we've been fighting here, you know, for a long time. A personality disorder.
I think a lot of fans have seen it. They've seen the worst, and they dare not hope for good things anymore, which is sad. But I think that's part of it.
Is it? And I think you made a great point in Drapes. I think you were traveling, flying to friendly skies on your Ric Flair type movement. It's kind of like you're bracing for the bottom. Excuse me, you're bracing, for the bottom to fall out, and so it's almost like a counteract.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, Drapes. I say it all the time. We got to be better. We got to be better. We got to be more positive. We got to do better, you know, think better thoughts. And we can't always fall back into the same zone. We got to help ourselves to make sure that we're helping our players and our organization and our team. I'm with you.
Jay, it seemed like some people get off on that, though. Like, it's like fun for them to do. And maybe it is the PTSD that some people are talking about. They just resort to what they know best, but it seems like they're more excited to talk about the negative and crap on things than to actually enjoy the games and when it's positive.
But that's part of the, unfortunately, that's kind of part of our MO nowadays, right, Drapes? Like, I think you've attacked that in so many different ways of, you know, Drapes Takes, and you know, you've done spontaneous Drape Takes where you're like, I'm just tired of this. And I think that's a lot of what's going on in our society. And you just look at the landscape of what's going on through our country in so many different aspects. And people all automatically point to like politics. I'm just talking about in life. Like in life right now, it's very tough in many different avenues. And so I think that's part of it when you're a Kings fan and sports fan. But I'm with you. We got to be better. We can't always be negative.
We'll come back with a living, breathing embodiment of the power of positive thinking. Right, Drapes? I mean, your guy going to join us. Antonio Daniels, Pelicans TV analyst. Well, how could someone be positive all the time? Well, you listen to him. You know, the Pelicans are not having a great season. We're looking forward to catching up with Antonio Daniels. He joins us next here. Drive Guys, Sacktown Sports.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley, investing in our neighborhoods, boosting the economy, making the Valley stronger. But when it comes to their finances, where can they turn? A big bank that just sees another number? That's not good enough. Valley businesses deserve Valley's support for payroll, credit, cash flow, and everything in between. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Learn how our cash management services can support your business at valleystrong.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery. Ends President's Day. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery. Ends President's Day. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Like the beam for Sacramento Kings. We the beam team, hey. Like the beam for Sacramento Kings. Like the beam.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
A lot of upheaval for the Kings this year. Obviously, a lot of good signs right now. Things may be coming together. 3 straight wins. Can they make it 4? We got Drapes with the play-by-play tonight from Nollins. And Drapes, why don't you bring on our special guest?
Drapes put a suit on, too.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
He did not, Jay.
Just didn't put a coat on?
Nah.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. I thought you put your Usher overcoat on.
Why y'all guys always on me like this, man? Y'all killing me, man. You know, I see how it is. All right, let's get to our guest, man. It's my guy. This dude works out harder than any other person I ever know. I mean, he puts me to shame in the gym. NBA legend himself. You can catch him on the Pelicans TV broadcast, NBA analyst. Our guy, Antonio Daniels, AD. What's up, man? How you doing?
Kyle, Cam, what's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great, Antonio. It's great to have you on. I just want to quickly go over his accomplishments again. You know, NBA on SiriusXM host, as you mentioned, Drapes, Pelicans TV analyst, 14 years in the NBA, 1999 NBA champ with the Spurs. Antonio, we know this season hasn't gone the way the Pelicans envisioned it, but what do you think of this new-look Kings team? How much potential does this Kings team have? I know you've seen them now a couple times in the last week or so.
You know, obviously, every team in this league has their strengths and weaknesses. And you know what I like that Doug Christie has done? He has leaned into the offensive identity of this team. Let's go ahead and put it out there. The Kings will not be a defensive team. That's not what their strong point is, nor will it be. And I talked to Kyle and Katie about this last night. The fact of the matter is they have numerous guys on that team that take defensively a man and a half and sometimes 2 to guard. So what it seems like Doug Christie has done is really lean into the offensive side of the ball, that he's really leaned into the pace of play. And it's hard to guard them. it's really hard to guard him because when you feel like you got one of those guys under control, then the other one goes off, right? So, oh, well, you know what? DeMar DeRozan's really quiet. And then next, Zach LaVine has ramped up his aggressiveness. This is, you know what? Zach LaVine's really quiet. Then Malik Monk has become more aggressive. So they have more. Then you got guys like Keon Ellis coming off the bench and doing what he did last night, along with Domas Sabonis, who is the beacon of consistency. And for the life of me, I don't understand how he was not an NBA All-Star. That's another conversation for another day. But they're a very, very dangerous offensive basketball team.
Our guy Antonio Daniels joining us. You can check him out on the Give and Go on Sirius XM NBA Radio. AD, every time we seem to play you guys, it's a close game, hard-fought game. Yeah. I know no Zion out there tonight, but what is it about the makeup of your squad that sort of, especially CJ, y'all guys seem to just get up for us for some reason?
I don't know. I wish that I could answer that question, but I cannot. I have, certain matchups are better than other matchups. Styles make fights, and certain teams, for whatever reason, match up better with certain teams. I wish I could say it was the length, and because realistically, this team is not constructed, meaning the Pelicans, like they were a year ago, right? There is no Najee Marshall. Herb Jones has been out. He's ruled out for the remainder of the season, right? DeJounte Murray's not there. Dyson Daniels is not there. Jonas Valanciunas is not there. So I don't know what the makeup is with these two teams where it always seems to come down to the final minute or 2 minutes of the game.
Antonio Daniels, nice enough to join us. And you mentioned Jonas, and we've been talking to, broadcasters from his former teams, and people obviously, as you know better than I do, they just love him. What stands out to you, Antonio, the most about Valanciunas' time in New Orleans?
Oh, man, he's a pro's pro. He is a pro's pro. And the big thing, and this will mean a lot to you guys because I know it means a lot to me as a former player. He is available. He's available. He played all 82 games last year. So we talked about Domas Sabonis being a beacon of consistency. You can say the same thing about Jonas Valanciunas. Every time you are going to the gym, hell or high water, Jonas Valanciunas is going to be available. And you know exactly what you're going to get from it. Right? You're going to get a presence in the middle that you have to double team. You saw it last night with the Pelicans. Every time he got that ball on the box, he was double teamed. And it may not seem like a big deal, but that frees up opportunities for other guys. It makes the game more stress-free for everyone else. Along with that, he's a great human being, right? He's a giant teddy bear. I used to say on our broadcast, he looks like a John Wick character, but he is one of the nicest guys that you will ever meet.
AD joining us, Antonio Daniels. We love him so far, man. The guy's friendly, pleasant. The guy you see on the court battling, totally different off the court. It seems like with Jonas, it couldn't be a nicer guy. With that being said, this Kings team is undergoing a transformation. We got some new players in. We got rid of some players. What did you make of the whole De'Aaron Fox trade?
I don't know. De'Aaron Fox is one of my favorite non-Pelicans in the league. I've had numerous conversations with De'Aaron Fox off the floor. I don't know what to make of how everything went down. That's a very, very tough situation because Mike Brown is one of my really good friends, right? Mike Brown coached me when I was in San Antonio.
San Antonio, yeah.
So I don't know what transpired. And the thing I don't want to do is speak out of turn because you guys would be able to tell me better than I can speculate. I know how it looked from the outside. I know what it looked like from the outside, but as we all know, sometimes what you see from the outside, the majority of time, what you see from the outside doesn't tell the full story.
Gotcha.
Right. Let me ask you this, though, AD, from a basketball standpoint, on the floor, adding a Zach LaVine, adding a LaRavia, some of these other guys. What do you think it's done to the team from a basketball standpoint? Forget the tabloid stuff. I'm talking about the roster now.
I think the thing is you won't see the benefit of all of it until possibly playoff time. Because you don't just, you can tell Zach LaVine is trying to find his way, right? When you lose somebody like De'Aaron Fox, when you lose somebody with that type of usage rate and your organization has been built around him, there's an adjustment that has to take place. It's a given. So now it's not just the Zach LaVine. It's now DeMar DeRozan is in a new position because now down the stretch, they're playing through him. There's no indecision anymore, right? You don't have two clutch players of the year on the same roster, and now you're forced to see, okay, who do I want to play through down the stretch? That's on DeMar DeRozan, right? You can see Malik Monk has now been thrust into the lead guard position. We talked about him today on my Sirius XM show, right? In today's NBA, it's different because there's not traditional point guards, they're lead guards. So now Malik Monk has the majority of the ball handling responsibilities and decision-making responsibilities. So it's an adjustment for everyone. And the thing that you can't do is make a final decision on what this team is going to look like in 4 or 5 games. It's going to take a minute for their roles to click.
AD, when you joined us, you talked about how Doug Christie is leaning into the offensive identity of this team. Now, you've been an NBA champion. If you have a team that, as you said, and we all know this team is going to be challenged at the other end. If that's your roster and that's your makeup, what kind of cap does that put on how good you ultimately can be as a team?
Well, I think it puts a cap on this season, but that's what the offseason is for. You know, the thing that I love that Oklahoma City did, they had weaknesses and they addressed them, right? They had physicality weaknesses. They had shot blocking weaknesses as far as behind Chet Holmgren. They went out and got Isaiah Hartenstein, right? They had possible wing weaknesses. So they went out and got some experience in Alex Caruso. So this season, I think there is a cap on this team. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say, you know what, man, I have the Sacramento Kings as the Western Conference champion. No, because there are some really good teams in the Western Conference. This is the deep the West has been. But what this gives you an opportunity to do is now identify your issues that you may see in the playing game or in the playoffs, and in the offseason gives you time to address those issues.
Hey, AD, you know, we're talking about, you know, the Kings and obviously OKC, and it got me thinking, man, we just had this trade deadline. Luka goes to LA, and I'm wondering, should players brace, I guess, for a changing of the guard, if you will, like the whole player empowerment narrative? Like, are things changing before our eyes, and in what way do you think we're headed?
You know, for me, I felt like you can kind of see this coming a few years back. You know, what I've always loved about the generation before mine and my generation is the NBA is guys were willing to sacrifice even though they may not have been around to see the fruits of their labor. You know what I mean? So a guy like Derek Fisher, who was the head of the Players Association, did all these different things that benefited the players, even though he knew that he wouldn't benefit from it because he would be gone. He would have retired. The issue that you run into a lot of times with this generation is it's a me/I generation. They're not concerned with what's coming after them. Everybody's concerned with getting theirs. And you know what happens when everybody's concerned with getting theirs? Now it hurts those that are coming after you. So what you're starting to see, and what I think you will see, is what the CBA was put in for. It'll be so interesting to see how many teams in this league are willing to pay guys the supermax, are willing to pay guys the max. Because what you're starting to see guys do is get the money and go. That was from what I've been told, that was one of the issues that the Dallas Mavericks had with Luka, right? Do you really want to give a player $350 million, which takes up a lot of your cap? So I think some of the decisions that guys made a couple of years back, 5, 10 years back, is now starting to rear its ugly face now.
Hey, AD, any thoughts on the extent to which Markelle Fultz might be able to help the Kings? They just picked him up. We don't know how much he's going to play. They're not plugging him into a starting role or anything. But did you think Markelle Fultz still has something left enough to help the Kings this year?
I don't know. I haven't seen seen Markelle Fultz in a minute. And he played well. That's the part that's surprising to me. I remember when training camp started here in New Orleans, into a couple of the coaches and kind of talking to them out of being surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you believe that Markelle Fultz is not at training camp with anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Not that he's not signed, but that he's not in training camp with anybody. That for me was a little bit different. And, you know, there are certain guys, for whatever reason, that maybe I don't have relationships with and I don't know them like that, but you really want to see those guys succeed. Markelle Fultz went through a lot coming in this league as a number 1 overall pick. He went through a lot physically. He went through a lot mentally. In the social media era where you're getting it from all angles, you don't know how that impacts a guy. So I'm glad that he's getting his opportunity again. And I hope he makes the most of it.
AD, I'm going to get you out of here on this. We got a game tonight. No Zion, just handicap this matchup. And who should we keep an eye on for you guys? Who has to have a big game for you guys tonight?
Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy. He's our, when Zion's not there. Well, number 1, I'll give you 2 guys. First is Trey Murphy because of how well he's playing. Like he is taking jumps. And I said on our broadcast, you know what? His growth needs to be studied. What he's doing, not just scoring the basketball, but also facilitating the ball. And also CJ. You know, CJ has this little thing going with the Sacramento Kings all the way back to the draft. This stems all the way back to the draft. So every time he plays against the Sacramento Kings, he wants to show up and show out. So those are the 2 guys that I think if I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, that I have to keep my eyes on. CJ McCollum and Trey Murphy III.
AD, you're the best. Thank you so much for your insight and your time. We appreciate it very much.
For sure. All right. Appreciate you guys.
Right,
I'll see you in a minute, Kyle.
Yep. See you in a little bit.
That was very interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think of Markelle Fultz? I don't know. That's great. That's great. Like he says, I'm not going to come on here and lie to you guys.
He's being honest, right? You know, he didn't go full Drapes, you know, calling him my guy and everything. Like, you know what I'm doing? I'm getting out ahead of the Markelle Fultz narrative here. You know what I mean? Once he drops like 20 in a game next week or something, I'll be like, see, I told you that's my guy right there. So I'm getting out ahead of it over here, Whitey.
Yeah. You've always been, ahead of everybody else and everything. You know, he addressed, you know, generations of NBA players and selfishness, although I think every generation in humanity has always looked at the current generation. You know, we always look at younger people and go, well, they're all about themselves. I think that's always happened throughout history.
Right.
But to that point, Doug Christie said something last night. He talked about with this roster, you know, talking about selfishness and being unselfish and doing everything for the team. Doug Christie talked about, hey, the roster's more talented. So he really is trying to emphasize we're all about the team, not about you, the individual.
A lot of good 3 quarters, sub 30. The 1 second quarter got away from us a little bit. 45 threes, that's the number. 28 assists is getting closer to where I'd like to be at. And then some shot making and some performances from guys. Keon was fantastic. Like everyone is adding to it. And even Keegan, like only shoots 5 times for 6 points, but he comes up with 7 rebounds and 5 assists. Like he's going to have games where he breaks out for 20 or 30. Then he's going to have games like this where he has an assignment and he accepts his assignment for the betterment of the group. And that's really what I want for them, is the ability to turn into a special team that when our organization goes out and gets more talent, that means that everyone has to sacrifice. And as we continue to go down this path, that's the biggest thing. It's not about me. It's always about we. It's us first, them, and it's always going to be us.
And he is in a unique position to preach that because that's what he did. That's the way he played. Right. Drapes, he was that kind of player where he put the team first.
Yeah, and I look at, you know, teams that have won championships in recent years. Think about Denver, Aaron Gordon. He sacrificed, right? He was one of the guys in Orlando, one of the top guys in Orlando. He goes to Denver, becomes part of a group. I look at a team like Boston. Drew Holiday was one of the studs out there in Milwaukee. He goes to Boston, he sacrificed. And so I see what Doug Christie is trying to instill in these guys. I mean, especially when you start adding talent, then
you start winning, you become closer, and it doesn't matter whether so-and-so got 30 one night and you only got 10 or anything like that. And so I think that's the process that we're on right now.
Mm-hmm. I think Malik, as much, if not more than anybody since Mike Brown got here, has embodied that, because Malik was the one, and now he's glad to be starting, but he was coming off the bench, and you'd ask him about coming off the bench, and he'd say, if the team wins, we all win. So, as long as they're able to maintain that. But it is, you do need to make sure everybody's on the same page there when you're bringing in new players. It was interesting when Antonio Daniels said, we've all seen it, but he talked about how, he wasn't sure about De'Aaron Fox leaving, but he says now DeMar DeRozan, at the end of the game, everybody knows. There's no question now about, well, what are we doing? Like, it's DeMar DeRozan down the stretch.
And I don't know how much of that is by design, but I tell you what, DeMar DeRozan is taking it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it may not be that way, but he just senses what the game needs at that time. It's like he transformed into Superman or something. Like, give me the ball, get out of my way. And I'm seeing some tweets out there. I'm seeing things out there on our chat and everything. Like, DeMar DeRozan, tough shot maker, and you're not going to make all of them, Whitey, but part of the NBA too, and part of being great, is the willingness to take those shots, wanting the ball in that situation. And we've seen already through this first season here, DeMar is not shying away from the smoke. He wants that responsibility late in games.
Yeah, and you can see it's really deflating to the other team when it's a close game down the stretch and DeMar gets the ball and he's backing somebody down, and you know what's coming. You know what's coming if you're the opposition.
Right.
And then he makes it, and it's like, you just can't stop it. It's almost automatic.
Yeah, you're playing great defense.
Yeah.
And some of those shots, man, where, that mid-range and the guy's draped all over him. It's just, it's amazing. And just that goes to the level of concentration and how dialed in DeMar is during that time. I mean, because it's easy to get off your game on something like that, but it's like he locks in even more.
All right, Drapes, I want to see what you think here. Whitey's wish list for tonight. Remember, this is just things I'm hoping for, things I'm wishing for from the Kings. Number one, I'd like to see the Kings do a better job tonight protecting the paint and keeping Domas out of foul trouble. Now, I know they got clobbered in the paint last night. A lot of that was because of Zion, and they can't stop him. A lot of teams can't stop him. But, Drapes, I think keeping Domas out of foul trouble is going to be a key going forward here. If Domas is sitting down every other game in the third quarter with 4 fouls, they ain't going to get very far.
Yeah, and I know it's a luxury to have Valanciunas, and it's a good thing, but you're right, man. Throughout the 28 games of the season, whatever it is, like, he's our all-NBA performer. He can't be, only playing 25 minutes, 30 minutes because of foul trouble.
Yeah, some of that, as we said yesterday, he's got to be more careful setting all those screens, but I think that his teammates defensively got to prevent that dribble penetration that forces him to come out and draw fouls that way. Number two, let's visit Sacramento, the city of threes. How about we get that going tonight, Drapes?
I would love it, man. I thought we saw a little bit of it in the second half last night against the Pelicans, but just 2 of 8 overall last night. And for me, I would love to see Zach get his 3-point attempts in the flow of the offense. Now, he's taking a lot of tough threes, contested threes, Whitey. It doesn't seem like he's taking many open, good looks at threes. I like to see the offense running a little bit, and he gets some open looks.
Yeah, he's still trying to find his way in the offense, isn't he? And it looks like maybe in the second half, maybe he made some progress in that area.
Yeah, and I think the coaches are still trying to find the way in the offense, how to use Zach, how to use DeMar together. I think it's still a learning process for all these guys.
Yeah, and my third and final wish for tonight, how about an emphatic, feel-good, one-sided win heading into the break? The Warriors tonight at Houston, Clippers at Utah, the Mavs play Miami, T-Wolves play OKC. So you're going to have a chance, most likely, to gain on at least some of those teams. How about just sending everybody off on the break with a huge win over a downtrodden, injured team tonight, Drapes? How about that? Is that too much to wish for?
You always wishing for a lot of things, man. You always want a lot of things. But on this night, nope, you are spot on.
Yeah.
This Pelicans team, they've already made their all-star plans. They're looking ahead as well. And so the crowd won't be a factor out here. We know that. So come out there and handle your business. I'm with you, Whitey. Let's make it happen.
All right, Drapes. We'll see you tonight. And then we won't see you for a while. So enjoy your time off. Enjoy your All-Star break.
I'm back tomorrow. I'm going to come in tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, really? What?
Dude, I got to do the pre-All-Star break last show. Maybe I'll take it off, actually. Maybe now that you said that, let me sleep on it, man, because I could get a
game early
start. I might take off tomorrow, though.
All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow, or we'll see you after your break. Either way, have a great call tonight. Stick around. Game night is next as we get ready for the Kings and the Pelicans on Sacktown Sports.
Dribble that. Pass that, dribble that. Big points, big stats. Pass that.